Good morning, Wind Chasers. Welcome to another episode of Chasing the Wind. I'm Pastor Mark, and this morning I want to talk to you about a wonderful passage of Scripture that I just love, and the Lord is letting it become a reality today. And that is from Psalm 51, verse 12. Restore to me the joy of your salvation and grant me a willing spirit to sustain me. Joy, joy, joy. So this morning, we had some laughter going on this morning. As if you watched last week's Chasing the Wind, we need to clean something up here. Because old 55-year-old Pastor Mark is not going to be a dad. Last week I referenced that Sandy and I, my wife, Mrs. Windchaser, and I have been working on something for the last 9 months. It is not a child, just so we are clear here, because my producer says to me, "Are you guys having a baby?" No, we're not having a baby. It's a baby, but not that kind of baby, okay? We're working on something else. Anyway, that just brought a lot of joy this morning to us, and some jocularity to hear in the recording room. And, God just does have a sense of humor. I talked about last time a moment, how things change in a moment. I started recording this, and then someone else was making tea, and the microwave started going up, beep, beep, beep. It was either that or the lady was backing up. I'm not sure which it was. But anyway, there was joy. There's joy, joy, joy that we need to have. Here is something I've been reading about, hearing about. More and more pastors through this pandemic are getting discouraged, wanting to leave the ministry. I have found out recently in my own denomination that they're discouraged, but they are not leaving. They're holding the ground. If there is one thing, and here's what I love about this passage, is it makes me think of when Jesus in Revelation challenged one of the churches in his letter to the 7 churches. Remember your first love. Several years ago when I was on my sabbatical, I went back to the little church that I was saved in. I was there about 3 months ago when I was back in my hometown for my mom's funeral. And I remember being in that church. It was funny where I was sitting. They had flipped the sanctuary, but where I was sitting that day was actually almost the exact spot where I came to Christ that day at an altar of prayer. But I remember several years ago part of my sabbatical journey was to go and revisit some of the old landmarks. And I had gone back to that church, and I remember the exact spot where Martin Arney and John Pester and Dean Chalfant prayed with me as I gave my life to the Lord. It was a beautiful thing. We can, if we let life get to us, kind of lose the joy of our salvation. Not the same thing as losing your salvation, or as we Nazarenes say, backsliding. We believe in backsliding. We practice it too sometimes. That was a joke, by the way, for some people, not other people. They actually do. Anyway, we can lose the joy of our salvation when we get caught up in all the different things going on. This week was the 3-month anniversary of my mom's passing, and it can be one of the hardest times. I thought, oh, well, so far I've gotten through it pretty good, until, I realized, wait a minute, there is kind of a sadness that comes over me every now and then for that. Several other things going on as I look at what's going on in the world. And it's very easy to get overwhelmed, folks. I just tell you, it is very easy. Do not judge your pastor if they're struggling a little bit, because these are rough times, and they're not only carrying their own burdens, they're carrying yours. They're praying for you. They're hurting along with you. We bear one another's burdens, do we not? At least we're supposed to, but we get caught up in our own stuff so much that we forget to bear one another's burdens. And so this morning, I want to encourage you to keep your eyes on the Lord. Remember your first love. Maybe you need to search the dusty hallways of your mind and remember the place and the time and the day when you experienced the grace of God in your life, and you received him into your life, and you began a relationship with Jesus. Because that is where our true joy comes from. In this world you'll have trouble, Jesus said, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. Jesus can give us joy in the midst of all that's going on around us, good and bad. He is our joy. And so I just want to encourage you this morning, Wind Chasers, if you're struggling, ask the Lord to restore to you the joy of his salvation. His salvation. It's his salvation. David wrote, restore to me the joy of your salvation. Your being the salvation that comes from Christ. That God gives to us through Christ, I should say. And ask the Lord, give me your joy. Give me your joy. A friend of mine gave me a quote years ago when I first started walking with the Lord. She said, the Lord has given me a lot of joy today, and I'll share it with everybody, but I'm not going to let anybody steal it. Don't let anybody steal your joy, but share your joy with others. And remember that Jesus is right there with us in the storm, just like he was with the disciples. You might think he's sleeping, that he doesn't care. Just know this. He knows the storm's going on. Keep your eyes on him, and let him restore to you the joy of your salvation. So until next time, I'm Pastor Mark. A little bit short today. Hey, would you do me and some of the other people at Drash Ministries favor? Share this. Share these videos, because you know how social media can be, and start hiding things and stuff like that. The more you share it, the more people hear this. You know someone that needs to hear it. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for joining me. Till next time, I'm Pastor Mark. Grace and peace.